told the story of a high school student bitten by a radioactive spider. Subsequently, Peter Parker developed superpowers. And while he's trying to decide what to do with these powers and what that will mean for his life, a criminal runs by him on the street, and he lets the criminal go. That criminal goes on and kills his uncle. The last frame of this comic story includes a narration box that says, "With great power must also come great responsibility." Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests, tonight I want to talk about 3 different types of power and how you can use that without great responsibility or with great responsibility. First, let's talk about financial power. I've done some research recently on lottery winners, and I found it's very difficult to find any documentation of lottery winners who have been successful or maintained their wealth beyond 5 years. The typical experience is bankruptcy, homelessness, depression, substance abuse. These are people that have made it. They've achieved the dream, financial freedom. And yet, through irresponsible use, their life is negatively impacted. Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, in 2013 donated $26 billion to charitable causes. He met with his wife early on and decided that they needed to figure out what they were going to do with this financial wealth they were developing. And they've decided that they were going to contribute to the world around them. They've almost driven out polio in third world countries through donations for vaccines. They've donated for education. Bill Gates is using his financial power responsibly. The second kind of power I want to talk about tonight is the ability to find information on the internet. It may not seem like a great power, but it can be difficult to find information on the internet, and if you don't use it responsibly, some pretty bad things can happen. In 2014, Zoe Quinn, a game developer, writer, and artist, had a scandal erupt. Her ex-boyfriend wrote a blog post about how she had used a sexual relationship with a game reviewer to further her work. Even though this was proven to be false, and you can look this up under the Gamergate scandal, it still negatively impacted her, and some people found her phone number and her address and posted it on the internet. As a result, she was beset with phone calls and threats, people threatening to come to where she was at, rape her, and kill her. Her life was negatively impacted because somebody used that power irresponsibly. She went into hiding, and in 2015 she was able to speak about harassment to the United Nations. I had an experience this past year where on my Facebook feed, a friend whom I've never met in person and I don't know any information about beyond Facebook posted that they were killing themselves. I have some experience finding information on the internet. I tracked down her local police department and gave them her address, and they went by and did a wellness check on her. She is alive today because somebody used their power to find information on the internet responsibly. The third kind of power is one that most of you in this room are familiar with. As Toastmasters, we learn to use words with great power. We know that a harsh word can tear someone down, and a kind, supportive word can build someone up, inspire them, and motivate them to greatness. In 2006, there was a 13-year-old girl named Megan. 13-year-old girls today deal with hormones, struggles with identity, self-acceptance, and finding their place in the world around them. So Megan was struggling with depression as well. She made a friend on the internet named Josh. Josh was actually one of the girls down the street that didn't like Megan. After fostering a relationship with Megan, Josh sent Megan a message that said, You're a terrible person. Everyone hates you. The world would be better off without you. 20 minutes later, Megan was found hanging in her closet. Josh used words irresponsibly and negatively impacted Megan. In 2008, I had an employee who worked for me. His name was Judd, and Judd was the bottom performer on our team. Our manager was sick of him. She was ready to cut him loose. But I talked her into letting me deal with Judd and letting me take him aside and talk to him and give him a special project. We had a new account coming on, a new client. It's a great opportunity for our company to impress someone and impact their business as well as our own. And I took Judd into a team room. I said, Judd, you're smart enough to do this. You have the skills that it takes, and you could do great with this project. 2 months later, Judd was the top performer on our team. He's since moved on into other positions in the company and continued to outperform everyone else on his team. Words have power. Everyone in this room has some kind of power. Maybe it's a smile that you give someone on the street, or a kind word as you pass in the elevator. Maybe you have great financial wealth like Bill Gates. If you do, come see me after the meeting. But whatever your power, it is important for you to understand that you can use it irresponsibly to negatively impact those around you, or you can take to heart the last panel from Amazing Fantasy Comics in 1962. With great power must also come great responsibility.